A tycoon who once ruled India's skies, a man who turned banks into beggars, a billionaire who lived like a king and left like a ghost. This final episode isn't just about Vijay Mallya. It's about the mark he left behind, the laws he challenged, the questions he raised, and the fury he ignited in the hearts of millions. This is the legacy then public opinion, the last chapter in the fall of the king of good times. In the eyes of the Indian public, Vijay Mallya became a symbol of unchecked privilege. He owed over 9,000 crore rupees to public banks. He didn't pay salaries to Kingfisher employees. He fled the country during a financial crisis. For many, he became the face of corruption, of businessmen who live rich but leave the country poor. Social media called him loan defaulter of the decade, escape artist, legal looter. The memes were viral. But behind the humor, there was deep anger. In India, borrowing from banks isn't easy for ordinary people. Collateral, paperwork, rejections, every step is a struggle. But Mallya? Loans approved quickly, no follow-up on repayments, massive amounts cleared on the basis of his brand. That trust between banks and the borrower was shattered. For many Indians, it raised bitter questions. Why was he trusted with so much money? Why didn't the system act sooner? How many more Mallyas are out there? Vijay Mallya's escape triggered a wave of financial reforms. In 2018, India passed the Fugitive Economic Offenders Act, targeting those who flee after committing fraud or defaulting on loans over 100 crore rupees. Key powers under the act: confiscation of all assets in India and abroad, fast-track court proceedings, zero tolerance for willful defaulters. Thanks to Mallya's case, names like Nirav Modi, Mehul Choksi also entered public and political conversation. India now takes economic crimes far more seriously. Mallya's downfall also forced companies and banks to rethink how corporate loans are granted. Post-Mallya reforms include tighter credit ratings for high-value loans, greater transparency in loan disbursement, stronger audit trails for fund usage, public disclosure of willful defaulters. He became an example of what not to allow. Every time a bank now questions a loan, every time an auditor asks for proof, Mallya's ghost is somewhere in the room. The Indian media played a huge role in shaping the public image of Mallya. From airport footage to courtroom chases in London, he was never out of the spotlight. But some experts ask, did media overplay the case? After all, many businessmen defaulted on loans. Many failed ventures didn't involve criminal charges. But Mallya's flamboyance, his lifestyle, made him irresistible for headlines. The yachts, the champagne, the models, the racehorses. He didn't just fail, he flaunted it. That turned public resentment into public rage. Even as a fugitive, Mallya has always maintained, I am not a criminal. I'm ready to pay back every rupee. Let me settle with the banks. He claims he was victimized. He says his airline failed due to high fuel costs and government taxes. But India says, you diverted funds. You made no sincere attempt to repay. You left the country when it mattered most. Repayment after being caught isn't virtue, it's a defense strategy. Behind the 9,000 crore rupees are real people. Kingfisher pilots who lost jobs, ground staff unpaid for months, families struggling after layoffs, public banks pressured to cover losses. Their voices were lost in court documents and news tickers, but their pain is part of Mallya's legacy too. For them, it wasn't about yachts or champagne. It was about rent, food, and school fees. Mallya's story taught India painful but necessary lessons. Lesson 1. No one is too big to fail. Lesson 2. Financial systems need checks and balances. Lesson 3. Transparency must be greater than trust. His case became a turning point in how India views corporate borrowing, political business relationships, cross-border legal frameworks. Today, India's financial watchdogs are sharper. It's public, more alert. Its laws, less forgiving. To the world, the Mallya case sent a strong signal. India will pursue economic offenders. Escape doesn't mean freedom. International treaties matter. He's now a case study in business schools, but not for innovation or leadership, for how ambition without accountability leads to disaster. His British mansion may be warm, but history will always remember him as the man who ran away. So what is Vijay Mallya's legacy? A business visionary? A fearless entrepreneur? Or a man who danced too close to fire? He redefined airline luxury in India. He reshaped the liquor market. He made headlines across the globe. But he also misused loans, ignored accountability, hurt thousands. His fall was public. His fight was legal. And his memory? It will always divide opinion. Vijay Mallya once ruled the skies. Today, he's grounded, not by law, but by legacy. A man who flew too high, burned too bright, and crashed too hard. This isn't just the fall of one billionaire. It's the story of a nation learning to protect its wealth, its people, and its trust. Because when the rich run, the poor pay the price. Series complete, The Rise